Hi guys, today I want to talk about Kahoot and how we can use it in the classroom. Kahoot is an online quiz platform that was created to be integrated into the classrooms to help us through our formative assessments and help us teach our students new concepts. So Kahoot is an online interactive web-based quizzes that allow us as educators to create quizzes, polls, or guide discussions and include our students. Kahoot engages students through the use of their phones, tablets, or laptops to answer questions. Kahoots have a simplified platform for students to answer questions that encourages them to look up at the screen and not have their nose in their phone or in their iPad or in their tablet, but to engage and look up and be a part of the conversation. Kahoot can be used in the classroom in many ways. We can use them as a review tool. We can write questions that can give us an idea of where the students are, where our gaps in knowledge are, and what we need to work on, and what we need to cover more in order for our students to be successful and to really understand the information that we've given them. It can also help us to solidify information. As we all know, students learn in different ways, and so allowing them to apply the information that they've learned and to target another way of learning is a really great use of Kahoot. Quizzes. We can write quizzes, the students can answer them. Kahoot allows you to use a nickname, so you don't have to use my name. Yeah, my name's Camille, but for today my name might be, Professor with some kind of emoji after it for the way I'm feeling today. When we played on Friday in my classroom, the students enjoyed putting different emojis behind them. Some of them had aliens, someone had spaghetti, someone had dogs. So it really gives them an ability to kind of have a alias associated with their name and a little bit of anonymity. So if they get a question wrong, they don't feel so bad. Everyone doesn't know it's them, but they know and they can kind of learn from their mistakes. And we can use Kahoot to teach new information. Stephanie Case is an IB biology teacher from New York City who's really kind of taken this blind Kahoot idea on and made it her own. She uses it to teach students new information. And so she's kind of created a way to ask the students questions and then build upon it so that they truly get an understanding of what they're learning without having us stand in front of the classroom like a sage on a stage and really talk to them, but talk with them for them to learn this new information. So Kahoot works in a couple of different ways. There's two main ways that we can do our Kahoots these days. We can do it in a multiple choice option like you see here on the screen. So this is one from my quiz on Friday. Basically, I ask a question and I provide 4 answers. The students then log on their phone and select the shape and color that's associated with what they believe to be the correct answer. The other option is a jumble. The jumble requires students to put the options into order. For this one, they would put the yellow circle, the green square, the red triangle, and the blue diamond. So when a student looks at their phone, this is what they see. The one on the left is for the multiple choice questions, so they select one of the following, depending on what they believe the correct answer to be. The one on the right is the jumble option. So they have their 4 options down in the bottom, and they click on it and drag it up into the correct spot. So when they're done, it looks like this. After reading the Horizon Report for Higher Education in 2017 and researching a lot of the adaptive learning tools available to us as educators these days, I really connected with Kahoot, and I felt that Kahoot had a wonderful place in my classroom to help me bring technology into the class and help me engage my students. So I wanted to use Kahoot in my classroom, so I created a lesson plan. And I used Kahoot in 2 different ways in this lesson plan. I used Kahoot to kind of give me an idea of where my students were, what they were learning, and what they hadn't quite grasped. So I started the class out with a quiz. It was kind of a pop quiz. They didn't know it was coming, but the quiz covered the material that had been taught in the previous class. And so I just kind of wanted to see what they'd retained, what they hadn't retained. When there were concepts that we didn't quite have enough of an understanding on, I was able to kind of talk about it briefly before continuing on. I then followed that quiz with a short lecture on the new topic. We were covering neoplasia, or the new growth of cells, like tumors. And so I kind of went through and described what they were, how they function. I just wanted to give them a little bit of exposure to it. And then I kind of did my version of a blind Kahoot. So my version of a blind Kahoot really started by me asking questions with a common theme. All the questions had the same suffix associated with them. And so what I was really trying to get is that this suffix is associated with similar things. So when you see this suffix, you can extrapolate it. Students at about the second question started to get the common theme within it. And it was really fun to just kind of see the light bulbs go off and to really watch them to connect these dots that hadn't been connected before. So blind Kahoots are a wonderful way for us to expose our students to new information. We do blind Kahoots through an introductory question, and we follow it up with discussions and reinforcement questions. Kahoot has made a wonderful template for us to use. It guides us through the creation of a blind Kahoot. We start with an introductory question, and then we ask a blind question, something that they should not be able to answer. Then we explain it and we discuss it in groups as a class. And then we ask these reinforcement questions. And then we follow it up with that first blind question again to see if we have been able to connect the dots and apply it to what we are learning. And so this is just a version of Stephanie who really has kind of embodied this Kahoot blind model. And so this is one of her examples. They're all online that you can view them and get an idea because we all learn well from others, right? So that's blind Kahoot. Kahoot's a great tool for us to use in the classroom. I hope you guys find a way to use it in your classroom.